Next Gen 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite James Martin, candidate for Stratton, to speak. Please put your hands together for James Martin.
Well, firstly, thank you very much, Jane. That's the best introduction I've ever had at any dinner so far, so thank you, Jane. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I'd also like to acknowledge our host station, Xi. Thank you very much for your kind invitation today. To all the other special guests, Lewis Lee, OAM, Alan Chen, Richard and Annie, Sasha, Jane, and my wife Stella, most importantly. Thank you, and Catherine, the MC, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be with you here today, and especially considering the circumstances with COVID, let's hope things get back on track pretty quickly. When I was talking with Lewis earlier about what to say today, I thought what I wanted to do was actually to share a little bit of my family story with you, which is actually quite a multicultural one. As you would remember, anytime you heard Duncan Pegg speaking, he would always say he was very proud to represent the most multicultural electorate in all of Stratton. You would have heard that many, many times, and it's very true. I'm also proud of my multicultural family. So a little bit about my background. I migrated to Australia in 1989. I was telling a few people earlier, it was a little bit easier for me because I didn't have to learn a new language like many other people do. But my wife, who you've met, Stella, and my son, Ollie, I'm proud that they're of Chinese heritage. So Stella is her father is of Hakka ancestry from Sichuan province, Meishan, which, and as I said, Duncan Pegg was a strong supporter of the Chinese community, and I was proud to serve as his chief advisor. He frequently said that the common story of our local area was that so many people from different backgrounds have come together, and I feel like my story is the same as many people's story here. My father-in-law, Stella's father, is the well-known local GP, Dr. Roderick Chu, who practiced for almost 50 years in the Cooper's Plate and Surgery there on Orange Grove Road. Dr. Chu came to Australia. He wasn't a doctor at the time. He came here when he was only 13 years old. He didn't speak any English at all. He went to school at St. Peter's Lutheran College and actually managed to get himself a scholarship to go to the University of Queensland and study medicine, where he became a doctor. At university then he met his wife Lima, who's from Eastern European heritage, and obviously they had Stella. I'm proud to be married to Stella, and our wedding actually reflected the very multicultural background. So we had a Catholic wedding at the church, and then without being told about it, we had a tea ceremony. And I had to learn on the job what a tea ceremony was, so I was a little bit confused, but I worked out what happens is that the younger members of the family serve you tea, and then you stand up and serve the older members of the family to show them respect, serve them tea. Whilst we were courting too, Stella introduced me to Chinese food. I think before then I'd only ever had sort of, honey chicken and sweet stuff. But Stella introduced me to the good stuff. Salt and pepper tofu, which is my favourite, and we spent many times whilst we were courting going to King's Food in Market Square, and it was a lot of fun. I think that's probably why our marriage is so strong, because of my our shared love of food. The other thing that really struck me from being welcomed into Stella's family is their value on education. So the whole family, who all live on the same street, mind you, that's another interesting point, who all live on the same street in Upper Mount Gravatt, and actually Dr. Chu helped his family emigrate over, one by one, and they all settled together, but they all value education. So if you look at all of Stella's cousins and relatives, they've all gone on to be successful in their fields. And I'm also aware of the hierarchy of success, which goes doctor, lawyer, engineer, IT professional, and then many other professions. But they really value education, and as a result, I value education, but Stella does as well. So Oliver is our son. He gets extra lessons. He does his Kumon. I like to try my best to make sure he does his homework all the time, but Stella makes sure he's definitely And I really feel that this value, put on education really helps the whole community. So as I've been out campaigning and you speak to people from all the different backgrounds, you hear the stories about their children, and their children have gone on to be successful in the community, and they're really contributing back to society. So that's the benefit that we get from investing in education. It comes back to us through successful people who have families and their children go on to be successful. So like Duncan, I also value education, and education has really been a key point in the story of Stretton and Duncan's time in Stretton. If you look at education, there's been record investment in local schools in our area because our kids deserve the best education possible, and that's what I'm committed to. Thank you very much for listening to my story, and thank you very much for your invitation today. And I'm looking forward to dinner and sharing more stories with you. Thank you.